Welcome, bienvenue. I have to report that I was hauled over the numerical coals by Sally Inkster, doing what is called a soul. What was it?
Soul plan reading.
Soul plan, and we will be on the next one referencing that, because I need to cut some bits of it out and put bits together, and I'll be asking her more questions, and hopefully you'll be intrigued by that as much as I was. It certainly it references what you're doing, and perhaps more than anything else gives you reassurance that you're kind of pointing your nose in the right direction. But we'll talk about that then. Today we're doing about something a bit more practical.
We are.
What is it you're going to have me do today?
Well, today, and I'm not actually sure you need this, but I think it will be a great activity.
And anybody else watching, you might want to try it. So what do they all need to have before they start? I mean, she told me to get two bits of paper,
two pieces of paper, blank. Yeah, so you can draw on it, and a pen. That's all you need. Okay. So today we are going to expand your creativity. Now, I have a feeling, Gareth, that yours doesn't really need expanding.
It could always do with expanding. Go ahead. Expand it, please.
Okay. How it starts is our brain is a load of pathways, and we know that we've made these pathways that we have over the years. So you get up and you brush your teeth. You don't have to think about how you brush your teeth. You just get the toothpaste, put it on the toothbrush, and you don't even think about it at all.
Right.
Because we've made a pathway in our brain. So if you imagine the brain being a forest, when we were young, we got up and we had an axe. So we thought, oh, well, I want to get to the other side. So we took the axe and we chopped down some trees. That was really hard work. So imagine learning to walk when you're a child. You chop down the trees so that you understand the pathway of walking. And then ever after that, you don't have to think about it. We don't think about putting one foot in front of another or keeping our balance. We just do it. And so it can be so useful for us in life when you're learning to drive. You know, there are so many things to think about. And now when you get in a car, when you've been driving as many years as we have, we probably don't think about it enough. And we
but it's your point is well met. What you're saying is there's certain aspects of your life that have almost become autopilot.
Yes, and that is a good thing, but it can also work against us. Okay, because when we were a child and something, let's say, not very nice happened to us, we drove a pathway of what we felt like and how we coped and what we did. And so even now as an adult, that thing happens, we go down that same old pathway. And surprisingly enough, about 80% of the thoughts that you had yesterday, you'll have today, you had 3 days ago, you'll have the day after tomorrow and the next day and the next day. They're all exactly the same thoughts.
Really?
Yeah.
So hang on, are we talking about thoughts that control the mundane? Yeah, I'm hungry now, so I better get it, and I'm thirsty, so I better get some food and make myself a drink.
What time is this? Should I watch telly? Am I going to bed? What do I do here? Yes. All exactly the same thoughts. But also, so some bad thoughts. Oh, you stupid idiots. You know, those sort of thoughts, exactly the same. We do them every day to ourselves. So I'm going to explain to you something you can do just to change that and to learn how to make a new pathway. And it's not easy.
Before you go any further, you've made me feel a bit sad that my life is that mundane that 90% of the thoughts I ever have are the same ones as yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, 80 to 90. Yeah, absolutely. Scary, isn't it? I mean, so scary. But I'm going to show you today how to change a pathway to make a new pathway.
Oh.
And I'll tell you how this hits in with personal brand as well. Because I, years ago, went to a networking. Now, being me, I was a bit late. I try and be on time, but I can't remember what happened. But anyway, I was late. And I arrived and everybody was already sitting down at tables. And there was a speaker who was just about to start. I hadn't heard the introduction, but he hadn't started. So I sort of rushed in, threw my things around, took my coat off, sat down at the table, apologised profusely, and got ready. And then he was introduced. This gentleman today, blah, 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 I won't give you his name, is going to talk to us about creativity. Now, the speaker got up. He was a man who was quite short, nothing wrong with that at all. He had a grey suit on. He had grey hair that needed a cut. He had nothing put together. And I thought, there is nothing creative about this person, because we all judge immediately like that, whether we're nice people or not.
As we all do it. In the first 2 seconds, we make a judgment. Yeah.
I made this judgment that this bloke was not creative. And if he looked like that, he wasn't going to teach me anything at all about creativity.
Oh, Sally.
I know, but we all do it. We know we do it.
I know.
But I'm trying to tell you the story so you can get my learning curve out of it, you see. So I was in a rush, and it was sort of, oh, goodness sake, I've rushed all the way here and now I've got to listen to somebody, what I assumed would be droning on. Anyway, to his absolute brilliance, he taught us how to do this next thing I am going to do with you. And it was superb. I've never forgotten. And that must have been, I have to say, 12, 15 years ago.
Good Lord, I can barely remember what I did last week. 12, 15 years ago, Sally.
Exactly. So he's changed. He's given me a whole subject to train about.
In many ways, he has created you a new neural pathway by the fact that you remembered what he did 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah. So now this is going to make you laugh. I do every single client of mine does this activity.
Oh, right.
And
I might do it myself.
Sort of it. I always say, I wish people had sent me, because over the years I just go, we both, it's usually a one-to-one, and we have a laugh about it, and then it goes into the ether. And I always think I should have set up a sort of Facebook page for what is about to happen, because it's just hilarious. Okay. So you are going to draw me. Okay. You are going to draw my face. Now, you have drawn a face, you've drawn a figure, you've copied something time and time again. But this is going to be different. So you're going to have a piece of paper in your hand that you are going to draw me. Okay? Right. But here comes the but. You can't look at it. So you have the second piece of paper, and you put that just sort of over so you can't see that piece of paper there. So It needs to go by your chin, and then your eyes can't look down, because you've got to be able to see me. So you can't close your eyes. So you put it there and you can't see what you're doing. You can take your pen. You can take your pen off the paper, but you can't look at the paper. Okay. Right. Nope, you're looking, so you can't see it. I haven't
started drawing yet. I'm going to balance everything up. Hang on. Do this. A bit more stiffness. There we go. I can't see.
Right. You can't cheat, can you?
No. I'm just trying to move the microphone to one side. Okay. Flip that over. Make sure my hand's actually on the paper when I start.
I'll get a bit closer. There you go. So all you've got to do is draw my face.
Oh God! All you've got to do, right?
All you've got to do is draw my face. You can't look where you've just got to remember.
Can I be clever? I can't be clever.
Sorry?
I'm being a little bit clever.
No, don't be clever.
I can't help it. It's part of my.
Really don't be clever.
All right, hang on. All right, so that's the. Okay. All right. Here we go. Oh God, it's gonna be so embarrassing.
Who for? I can tell you, it's way more embarrassing for me than it is for you.
Why is it embarrassing for you?
Well, because it'll be my face that you show on screen.
I can't see a damn thing, and I don't know where. Hang on. Oh my God.
I remember I have ears, and I have lips, and I have glasses.
Oh, forget that's the least of my worries. So I'm going to say there. I'm going to go. There are some people that can do this feat,
Well, Well, there are, but not many, because we don't practice doing things, as we're going to go on and talk about, out of our comfort zone. Because we just go back each time to a thing that's easy, simple, quick. And that quite often is a habit or a paradigm, as we call it.
This is terrible. I don't know where the bottom of your neck, I don't know where anything is. I'm done. I'm done. It's too ridiculous.
Okay.
Shall I look?
Yeah, go on.
Ah!
Come on then.
It's terrible. Ironically, the glasses are the only bit that stayed in the right place.
Oh, hang on. You're on a green screen. I can't see you.
Hang on. I will turn it off and see if we can do any better. Hang on. It's terrible. I feel
That's all green. Oh my goodness, yes, that is terrible.
I got the glasses right.
Yeah, you have to take a photo of it and send it to me.
Oh,
but what that had done is your brain had gone, for sake. And it couldn't go down. It was like the door was closed. It couldn't go down its normal route of drawing a face. And so it was going, how am I going to do this? So it was trying its hardest to spark some new pathways and some new neurons to get round the fact that it had been blocked from its normal way.
It's interesting. If I analyze this, see what I did, the clever thing I did was I drilled 2 holes in the paper with my pen.
That's cool. That's cool.
Without looking, I didn't look. I did drill 2 holes to paper, and I made sure they were about that far apart using my pen.
Yeah.
And then I could feel where those holes were with my finger, and I tried. So everything is in the same correct lateral thing. There's me trying to use intelligence to cope with sensory deprivation. But the problem was the horizontal displacement was different for each bit. So your glasses are a bit low, but they're in the right sort of place. Your face shape, ironically, is not that far off. It's almost there. Lips, 2 squiggly lines.
Yeah.
And the eyes and the hair, I tried to do the fringe, and that was over here to the right by a couple of inches.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
But you know when you're sitting at your desk and you think, I've got to write a blog, I've got to do something, and you need a spark of creativity. It's sometimes a good idea to do that. I mean, you can draw yourself from a mirror, you can do somebody else. I can't tell you how many children it's occupied when we've been out and they've been bored. But they
have to hold the paper and not cheat.
Yeah, not cheat. You can't. You literally, it is too powerful. I want to look that you have to put the piece of paper there. But what it does, it means after that. So now there's another bit of your brain that's working. You like that, didn't you?
I did. Will that what net effect will this give me other than showing that I've no spatial awareness whatsoever?
Well, I think the next thing you do, you'll just have that little bit more brain power, that little bit more creativity, that little bit.
Force everybody in my immediate vicinity to do this. I might even force all my clients to do this too.
You'll have to reference me. I can't reference the gentleman who taught me this because I don't know what he's doing.
Well, I'll reference you, but I tell you what, does this have a name?
What I have no idea. But I mean, what it's doing is just trying to create some new neuron pathways.
Yeah, it is forcing. What you're doing is you're forcing adaptation.
Yes. And that's good. I mean, in a personal brand, that is good. In everything we do is to force something to change. We have to get out of our comfort zone, because you found that very uncomfortable.
Oh, it was terrible.
Terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
I felt at I think the expression might be at sea. I felt like I was at sea in a dinghy without any form of steerage and any form of propulsion. And I was being expected to come up with something which, let's face it, social niceties say that it should be at least vaguely reminiscent of yourself. And secondly, I mean, guys, Sally and I have known each other quite well for some time. We know what each other's basic facial shapes are like. We understand the facets of it. She's got a shock of white hair and a fringe. She's got often sort of tangerine glasses on, and a stripe of red lipstick, a top, and a necklace. That's how in my brain, that's my ident for Sally. But what I've produced here, I don't even know what to say. It's like somebody threw bits of an image together on a bit of paper and just shuffled them all together.
But you see, I think that when we start off a new business, so say my clients who come out of corporate and they know what they're doing, they know that face shape, they know the face, they know the glasses, they know the lipstick, they know all that. But then when they have to put it into a new environment of working on their own without the IT team, without the HR team, without the secretaries, etc., because they've been deprived of something, they realize that they have to take that bit on board.
You're forcing growth of a muscle they didn't previously have.
Exactly. And that's what happens to people when they get into business, which is why so often people start off with such great confidence and, excitement. And very quickly that self-confidence and that self-belief sort of starts to down, because they're doing to themselves exactly what I have just made you do. And unless you understand that you need that anchor, and for me, that anchor is to have your personal brand so that you have the things to talk about. And when you do the personal brand, you can outsource all those things that make it.
Sally?
Yes?
Do you have a couple of bits of paper?
Oh, you want me to do it?
Right. What's good for the goose?
Ah, God. Okay.
Good for the gander.
Okay. All right. You have to put your. I don't have a pen. I have a piece of paper, so I can't see. No, I can't see. Right. Okay. Oh no, I'm putting bow tie in.
Got to put the bow tie in. And the hat. Can't forget the hat.
And the hat.
Come on, let's see. That is the oddest hat I've ever seen. But I tell you what, I'll give you this. The eyes and the mouth and the nose are in the right sort of place, and so is the bow tie.
That's not bad.
No, it's much better. I'm not sure about the beard, but
Yeah, it's sort of. I have to say though, I have done this as practice, because every time I have a client, guess what they say?
Of course.
So that's not my first time of having done that. So I think I have a little pathway that I can draw people's attention.
You obviously know how to keep your hand in the same general vicinity, and I suppose it becomes a bit more muscle memory. But exactly. No, I just don't want, next time you draw me, a little bit less Amish.
Yeah, okay.
A tiny little hat.
Oh, dear.
All right, so look, guys, I as ever, joined by the incredible Sally Inkster of Find Brand You. Her mission is to help you get your brand and make it visible to others so they recognize you, buy it, and understand from it what your values are. Until next week, thank you so much for educating me and in the way to create new neural pathways. You can all try it yourself. I guarantee other people who are watching this are now going ahead and trying to get other people to do it to them, and vice versa.
If people do it, they need to put the picture underneath. You need to post a picture, take a photo
Absolutely.
of it.
Please do, and put it in the comments. Until the next time we speak, please keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and try and look after that mental health. Bye-bye now.
Take care. Bye.